So before we get into today's video, I have a discussion post up on my channel asking you guys, the fans, a very important question. How would you save Thomas and Friends? Once everyone gets their replies in, I'll be doing a massive live stream soon to go through every single response. So go ahead and let me know. Now into today's video. I've talked about Bachman Thomas and Friends a lot here on this channel, but let's talk about Lionel's Thomas and Friends line. I did make one video on their most recent release, which had many good features. The problem was that it was all Engines Go themed, but the working headlamp and smoke unit was very intriguing nevertheless. Now let's take a look at some of the other Thomas and Friends releases. So I just hopped onto Lionel's website for the very first time, and I had no idea that some of these items even existed. I've never seen these Thomas and Friends items in hobby stores before, like not even once. It definitely depends on the hobby store though. Starting off with Lionel's available products, we have Thomas, Percy, James, Diesel, and Arian Bert. Starting out with Thomas, I'm pretty sure the website doesn't portray the updated CGI version. Even so, Thomas looks pretty rough. I did see someone say in the comments that Lionel uses existing chassis to make their Thomas and Friends characters, which would explain why the engines don't look very good 99% of the time. Definitely a basic bare bones Thomas, but for the average Lionel fan, it gets the job done. Next we have Percy, and what's interesting is that there's two versions of Percy listed, a CGI based version and what looks to be a version based off of the early model series. But this version of Percy looks pretty good, I'm not going to lie. This Percy's face is much better than even the current HO scale Bachman Percy's face. That's not saying much though. Oh, and these troublesome trucks? Yeah, they look pretty damn clean. Moving on, here we have James. This cursed looking James. Now this is where Lionel completely loses me. These proportions are pretty rough. Whether it's his boiler size, his smoke box size, the size of his face, or even his very yellow dome. Now we have Diesel, who actually looks quite nice, just like Percy. That's not really saying much because he's just a basic class 08 shunting Diesel. However, he is missing his side rods, which is pretty goofy. I really hate this CGI era face for Diesel. Whether it's in this Lionel line, the Bachman line, or even the Thomas Wooden Railway line. And not to mention, his eyes are really sunken into his face. I'm not really sure why they made him look like that. Now, Arian Bert also have this same problem, but in general, just like Diesel, Arian Bert look incredibly clean. Once again, better faces than Bachman's Arian Bert, but also no side rods once again. So those are the current engines available on Lionel's website, at least in their available products category. But Lionel has some pretty cool rolling stock as well. First off, what the hell happened to these branch line coaches? All of their basic troublesome trucks look really nice, however, especially these two filled with Christmas presents. Now they also have American-based tankers and freight cars, as per this Sodor mining car and milk tanker. This line also has a few basic scenery pieces as well, such as a station platform and a tunnel. Now you may be asking, where can I get this merchandise? Well, oddly enough, Lionel doesn't let you actually purchase directly from their website. They send you to another page to find a dealer near you in your state, basically finding a registered hobby store. But if you do search on their online shop, not all of these characters and pieces show up available to be purchased. I simply searched Thomas and Friends in their online shop and this came up. No James, no Percy, no Arian Bert. Nothing. So I have no idea how to get these items. I may be incredibly dumb and not doing it right on their website, but anyways, let me know what you think about Lionel's Thomas and Friends line.